I got a new intro. Isn't it awesome? I also got a bunch of other cool stuff like this video camera, so now I won't have to record on my Surface anymore, and the video camera won't be shaking while I'm trying to record my videos. So yeah, that's cool. Anyway, so this video will be about a show that I haven't really talked about before. It's the anime RWBY. That's RWBY. If you haven't heard about it, you should go watch it. It's a really awesome show that is totally worth binge watching. Also, if you haven't seen it, you'll have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about in this video. For those of you that have seen RWBY, I will be talking about Dust. Spoilers if you haven't really gotten all that far into the show. You have been warned. Now, I know that Rooster Teeth came out with a World of Remnant episode that kind of explained Dust better than the actual series does, but there's still a lot of unanswered questions about it, and I have a couple theories of my own. Plus, I'd really just like to do an analysis on it. Dust seems to be one of those things that's so common and well known that just about everybody has some sort of basic understanding as to what it is. You know, kind of like how Chi should have been in Kung Fu Panda 3.
That was Chi.
What's Chi?
Chi is a fundamental principle of Chinese culture that Poe should already know after 2 movies, but he doesn't. Because the audience might not know what it is, someone needs to explain it.
But it is a very limited knowledge, as is admitted in the World of Remnant. Dust seems to act like some sort of energy source, since it's used in many different forms of technology, but some kind of like electricity from coal. It's naturally occurring in nature, like coal. It's mined, like coal. There appears to be a fairly decent amount of it, but it is a limited resource, like coal. It appears to be readily available and relatively cheap, since just about everybody uses it, like coal. But it is highly explosive, like uranium? Let's see, uranium. Energy source, naturally occurring in nature, mined, good bit of it, limited resource, readily available and relatively cheap. Huh, well, so much for coal. But the biggest difference between uranium and dust, besides the fact that dust can be used with an aura, is the fact that dust can be sold to pretty much anyone, despite its explosive properties. And it isn't exactly secured well. I mean, Weiss carries the dust around in suitcase-looking things in poorly secured containers. That isn't exactly well protected. Unlike uranium, where they treat the transportation of it very carefully. Especially used uranium. Speaking of use, what happens to dust once it's been used? With something like coal or uranium, once it's been used, it's turned into something that's essentially toxic and completely unusable. We don't really see dust in action much, at least not where we can see the dust clearly defined. Sure, we see it used in plenty of machinery, and Weiss uses it all the time to go along with their semblance, but sometimes it's kind of hard to tell where the dust begins and the semblance ends. The one time that we get a very clear image of the dust is when Blake is battling Torchwick on the train. She combines it with her semblance, but what ends up happening is that different forms of herself get left behind, like ice or fire or something like that. Unfortunately, the scene is pretty short, so we don't see a whole lot of what happens, especially after her new form, the form that she left behind, gets attacked. But we do see a couple of wide shots after the form that she left behind gets attacked, and we see, well, nothing. The forms have just completely disappeared. But they can't just cease to exist. I mean, the law of the conservation of energy states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, just transformed into a different form. True, this is Remnant and not Earth, meaning that the physics of Earth probably don't apply in the same way to Remnant, but nothing we've seen in the series contradicts the law of the conservation of energy. But even if physics were to work differently, I highly doubt that the dust would just dissipate and disappear and turn into nothingness. But if it doesn't disappear, where does it go? Well, that can be answered if we explore how it is created. Now, the inhabitants of Remnant don't really know how dust is created. All they know is that it was discovered a very long time ago by their ancestors. The big thing that they've discovered is the fact that once dust leaves Remnant's atmosphere, it doesn't really work anymore, which leads me to believe that there is something within Remnant that causes the dust to work, and that the dust doesn't come from the moon like a lot of theories seem to think. I believe that there's some sort of core or something where the dust comes from, kind of like Earth. Like, you know how the Earth's crust is floating on top of the liquid mantle? Something like that. Somehow there's some sort of huge reservoir or something of dust underneath Remnant. And from time to time, part of this dust gets pushed up into Remnant, and then that's how the inhabitants of Remnant can find the dust. And when dust is used and transformed into something unusable, it returns to this huge reserve and gets recycled, I guess? Now, of course, this is just a theory. I don't really have any hard evidence to back any of this up, so this is just what I've kind of thought of to kind of explain where dust comes from. So what do you guys think? This was just my analysis on dust and how it works and where it comes from. I'm sure very soon we will get more information in the series that will reveal more about dust and where it comes from that will end up completely debunking everything I've just said. But, oh well. Like, comment, subscribe, email me. I am the Gravity Falls Gossiper, signing off.
Toby determined, Gravity Falls Gossiper. Do you really think this constitutes a wonder of the world?
Your microphone's a turkey baster, Toby.